And do you guys remember when Coach Prime was blaming Virginia for tampering with his running backs and his team? He said, hey, man, we're going to let you guys have Isaiah Augustave. You tampered. You offered him a ton of money, and he's leaving. Well, the reality of the situation is Isaiah Augustave never enrolled in Virginia. He never cleared admissions. He was never a student there, never practiced. But he did verbally commit, and he did tell the world, I'm going to Virginia. And if you watch Virginia post-spring football, they went and signed Isaiah Augustave, but then they went and signed Harrison Whaley. And when I see multiple players sign at a certain position group, you can say to yourself, hey, what are you guys thinking? Like, what are you players thinking? Why are you all signing to this same school? They don't want you all. They can't play you all. But in the reality, the school knows that one of these players can't make it. Either not going to clear admissions, not going to get an extra year of eligibility, maybe injured, a bunch of other reasons why they can't make it. So the school is covering their CYA, they're covering themselves, and they're saying, okay, we got to sign somebody else. And they signed Harrison Whaley. About 3 days ago, somebody wrote to me on TikTok Live, and they asked me, Rico, is Isaiah Augustave going to rush for 1,000 yards while he's at Virginia? And I already knew that was a Colorado homer. I already knew it, 100%. The only reason you guys even know these players' names is because they played at Colorado, and you're just homers, and you think that every player on that roster is going to be great. And I just look at you and go, no, man, you're third string at Colorado, you can't start at UMass. That's the reality of the situation. But people they're so unrealistic about these players and who they think they have on their roster and how deep their room is and all this stuff. And it's like the coaches know. That's why the coaches are signing more players or better players. So when you look at a team like Virginia, if you study them, they got a ton of transfers coming in. They hit the NIL jackpot, and they're improving their team immensely with all these transfers. But if you watch Virginia in spring ball, the number one running back on that roster was Jamari Taylor. Jamari Taylor coming over from the HBCU, FCS level, he looked the best on the team. Now, I know what kind of known goods Harrison Whaley is. This is a former leading rusher at Northern Illinois, former leading rusher at Wyoming. Yes, last year he missed most of the season due to an injury, and I remember I did a live stream for the MVPs in October, and I was like, listen, guys, Wyoming's going to be terrible because Harrison Whaley's not going to play the rest of the year. He's only going to play these last 4 games. Coach did an interview. He said we're only going to play him for the final 4 games of the season, let him keep his red shirt. But we're not redshirting him for somebody else. We're redshirting him for ourselves. Well, not true, Coach. You redshirt him for somebody else, and that's exactly what happened. So Harrison Whaley redshirts, but he does come back. And his first game back at the end of the season, he rushed for over 100 yards. That's a 1,000-yard rusher on the horizon. That's a beast of a running back. So as soon as I saw that, I knew, Harrison Whaley's going to take over this running back room. He is. Him and Taylor are going to be this 1-2 punch for Virginia that's going to make the running game at Virginia kind of consistent. And it's not going to be one of these things where we're signing scrubs off of the Clemson bench, which, by the way, that's what they've been doing. Shout out to every player that ever left Clemson to come play at Virginia, follow Tony Elliott, but you just weren't good enough. If you're third string at Clemson, you're typically not a starter somewhere else, especially another Power 4 school. That's unrealistic. So, that being said, when they asked me that question, I said Isaiah Augustave will be lucky to get 400 yards. And now he announced this morning he's in the transfer portal. He's officially, his recruitment's back up. And a lot of Colorado fans are upset. You shouldn't have left for the money, gets the NIL check, didn't clear. And all this animosity is built because Coach Prime went out and said this young man was tampered with and he left. And they blame the player, not the school. Notice, they're not vilifying the school. All the fans on Twitter are vilifying Isaiah Augustave, which I think is terrible. You don't vilify these players for following the money or taking more money. Right? That young man has a family to feed. He's got a daughter. That's probably his motivation for trying to find the highest bidder or find more money. When you go out and apply for jobs, you're not a loser because you move from one job to the other and another job's paying you more. There is no such thing as loyalty when you're trying to find employment for the most part. If we're being realistic here, if there's a substantial difference in pay, what are you going to do? You can't blame them and say they're not human. Right? So I read all the comments on Twitter, I read it here and I just see everybody saying this stuff. Right? Check ain't clear. Hate to see it. You are a stupid MFer. They played themselves. Talking about him and Alto. Like, I don't get down with this, right? Like, none of this is okay. None of this is okay. I'm going to tell you that Virginia's trying to find answers. And remember, if you're a running back and you're trying to find the right school, first and foremost, please understand you're in an open relationship. How many of you guys agree with open marriages? Open relationships. I'm just curious. Do you agree with an open marriage or open relationship? If you don't, I got news for you. Stop signing with FBS schools because they're going to pretend to be dedicated to you, pretend to be committed to you, pretend to be in a committed relationship with you. But the whole time they're telling you you're the guy, you're our answer in our backfield, you're who we want. They're still tracking that transfer portal. Those coaches are still texting other men on the low. They're still texting other running backs on the low and trying to replace you. It's an open relationship. You're committed. You're in a monogamous relationship with that school, theoretically. But they're trying to find other answers the whole time. And that's their job. That's what they're going to do. So you're in an open relationship if you're trying to sign with an FBS school. If you're an FBS caliber player, which I believe Isaiah Augustave is, if you want to be the marquee running back, and you want to be the guy on campus and the one that they hand the ball off to every single time, you're going to have to go to a much lower echelon of football. Every FBS running back room is running back by committee. Every group of 5 running back room, running back by committee, right? They all are. Hell, you can go down to the FCS. If Isaiah Augustave transferred to Sacramento State right now, I think he'd be 3rd string. Running back by committee. That's how good they are. Some of these teams have a ton of running backs that are very, very good. Isaiah Augustave should go sign at North Dakota State. They're still good players there, but they need him. They just lost their star running back, Brown. He went down to Miami. That's what he should do. But he probably has too much pride to do that. And it's probably not the same equivalency in pay. But a lot of these guys are chasing jerseys and chasing gear and the notoriety of saying you play at a Power 4 school when that's not going to get you on the field, especially this late in the cycle. By the time you get on campus and start learning the playbook, you're not going to be competing for reps. You're not competing for playing time. You're just at practice and just kind of going through the motions, and we might see you on the field in November. All because you transferred late and you chose to make some poor decisions on where you were going to transfer. But if you're transferring to a Power 4 school, you need to understand they are still looking for more players. Jamari Taylor understands that. That's a young man leading the team in all spring. Best running back on the roster all spring. And they're still signing 2-3 other guys after spring football. It's like, yo, I went on a first date. I started hitting up everybody else. We went on a date. And it was great. I'm telling you, I want to be with you, but let me get back on this dating app and keep dating more people. That's FBS football. That's what FBS teams do. That's Power 4 football. That's the reality of life. I want you guys to stop vilifying the players and start guiding them or start trying to help them find the right fit for them. But don't vilify them just because they didn't pick your school. These schools are out there picking everybody. These schools are out there dating everybody. They're fucking everybody. I need you to think about this, okay? They're doing this with everybody. And I'm not vilifying the coaches. They got to do their best to find their best 105 players. And it's okay if they go sign a guy that they have no intention of playing, as long as they improve their 3rd string. As long as they improve their depth. They're signing as many guys as they can. It's the whole goal in life. Just keep getting the roster better. Keep getting the roster better. Whether the guy plays or not doesn't matter. This is why I don't work for schools. I work for players. That's why I'm an advocate for players, not schools. Do I help schools? Yeah. They reach out. I help them on Twitter. But the players, they need better advisement. They don't need to be doing this. You got to find out what your motivation is or your desired end state, and then they need advisement from there. Shout out to Isaiah Augustave. I hope you find the right fit for you. But if you keep wanting to sign to Power 4 teams, like you have been, like your friends have all told you, you're an Arkansas caliber running back, you're a Colorado caliber, Virginia running back. That's 3 teams now. No one's committed to you. It's 3 teams now. No one's committed to you. You promise nothing. You're looking in the wrong places. You're dating the wrong people. You ever seen a girl who's like, where are all the good men at? Where are all the good men at? Where are all the high quality men at? And I'm looking at her like, who cares? You ain't interested in them, and they ain't interested in you. You got to change what you're looking for. Change your demographic. Change what you're looking, what you're trying to sign with. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows.